Hello, today I will introduce you to the world of mutation testing. But what is mutation testing? I wrote a blog post about that, the link is available in the description. But long story short, mutation testing is testing of your tests, and basically it's all about introducing bugs to your production code. For example, changing equal sign to not equal sign, changing link operators, changing logical operators. So, for example, changing AND to OR and so on. And I will show you one example of how you can use Stryker Mutator to actually increase the value of your tests. So we'll work on eShop on containers. That's Microsoft public GitHub repository where they show the architecture of the eShop built on containers using DDD and microservices approaches. Okay, but let's get into that. So I have Stryker installed on my machine, and you can see that now we will run the .NET Stryker command, and I only want to mutate one file, so I need to make my command a little bit more complex. I want to mutate only order CS file, and I also need to specify which project I'm referring to, because the unit test project is referencing more than one project, and that's Stryker gets a little bit confused, but that's all you have to do. Okay, so let's run the mutator. It's gonna take some time because first of all it needs to identify the projects and files that it can mutate. Well, in this case it's just one, and then they actually introduce those bugs, so mutants, and then the mutator will check whether the mutants are killed during the test. So basically it means that if the mutant is killed, it means that our test detects the bug, so the code production changed. So let's wait for the results. So there is 26 mutations, and we can see that only 3 of mutants have been killed and 23 mutants survived. So it gives us overall mutation score 11.54%. And right now, let's take a look at this report. So we can basically we can copy this this link, and we can open it in Safari. Yep, and now we can see that in the aggregates model, let's say we'll take care about order, and we can see that order CS, which is the aggregate, have been modified. And I want us just to take a look at one method. There is a lot of things happening, but as you can see, this is the one which we will take care about. What Mutator did, it actually changed the equal sign to not equal sign. So that's equality mutation. And yeah, apparently we don't have any test covering this case. But what is this method doing? So it's actually checking whether the order status ID is equal to submitted, because only submitted order can be set awaiting validation status to awaiting validation status. And then when this happens, the event is published and the order status updated. So what we can do is actually write a test for that and try to get better mutation score. So this is the class, this is the method that we'll be testing, and here in this file we'll just try to write this test, right? So let's start. They're using XUnit here, which is good. And now what we want to test, we actually want to check that the order status can be changed to awaiting validation only if order is submitted. More or less like this. Let's see. let's see whether this is a good name later on. And what we can actually do, I saw, oh yeah, there's a nice code which we can reuse. That's just to prepare the solution. Arrange the part of our tests. So now we have an order with some address. It doesn't really matter. We can add this comment that this is the arrange part. And what we need to do now is actually what we want to check. We want this order to be in different state than submitted, because if we take a look, the order, when the order is created, the order status is submitted. So if we add the tests, we can actually check that. So we can say that the order set awaiting validation status. And now we'll do the assertion. So now we can check that. Well, actually, first thing that we can check is that how many events has been published. Okay, because they add domain events on each method execution. So we can actually say that the count is equal to right now. Assert dot let's say true. So okay, what's going on here? Count equals 2. Sorry. No. Yep, that should be like this. We could just use assert equal. Maybe that's gonna be better. So equal, and expected is 2 domain events. And this test is going to run successfully. So let's run it. Yep, and we can see this test passed. Okay, but what if we change in the arrange part, because we said that only submitted order can be changed to awaiting validation status. So if we, for example, change the status to cancelled, we shouldn't be able to get in here, right? So still, we should only have 2 domain events, one for creation and one for setting the cancelled status. But besides that, we should actually check whether there is no event that is assignable to, let me find this method, that is assignable to order status changed to awaiting validation domain event. So let's do that. So let's iterate through this orders domain events, and here we will check, so we'll need an assertion, and we will check that that there is no event which has a type equal to, and we'll use the type of operator and this event. Right, so we need to check whether in order domain events, in this aggregates domain events, there is no event of type equal to order status changed. So let's run that test. Okay, this test passed, that's cool. And now let's check whether it's increased our mutant coverage. So back into the console, and now once again I will run the same command. Okay, the mutant finished, and let's take a look. So the total number of tests increased. That's expected because we added 1 test, but also mutants number didn't increase. That's because we didn't change the production code, right? So that's good. And if we look at the overall score, and now, well, we killed 7 mutants instead of 3, which was the previous result, and only 19 survived. And just adding this one simple test increased our final mutation score to 26.92%. And let's take a look. And the last thing that we're gonna do, we'll just take a quick look at this file. So this is the report file, and we can actually see, yeah, that's the same mutation score that we have in the console. And in here, we can actually see our method, and now it's passing. And we probably fixed something else just by adding this one test. So that's it. That is what Mutant is about. So basically what we did, we run the Mutant to discover whether our tests were missing. We discovered that yes, there are some methods that are not well tested, and introducing changes, for example, during the refactoring may occur, an issue may occur, or we may just introduce a bug. Because, for example, if you think about this, if I would change order status submitted to something else, for example, I don't know, cancelled either by mistake, or just when splitting this class to more subclasses or so on, or maybe I would change the equal sign to not equal or something else, then this may introduce a bug, regression bug, that even though we have a test, right, that's a fact, there is a couple of tests in this class, but this wouldn't be discovered. So this is what you can do with mutation testing. So let me know if you like it, and have fun testing your code and looking for missing tests. Thanks for watching.